if I didn't have my son. Okay, thanks to Brian for sharing his story with us. And our next speaker is Glen Schulz. Is Glen here? Okay, Glen is the author of the book Unlawful Flight. Many years ago, Glen was forced to kidnap his 2 children, a drastic measure brought about by parental alienation. Glen is not proud of what he did and now speaks to bringing awareness to parental alienation. So let's welcome Glen.
Hello everybody, my name is Glen Schulz. Most of you have never heard of me. I suspect in the next month or so, you will. I wrote a book called Unlawful Flight, a Parental Kidnapping. It's a true story of a parental kidnapping, and I know because it's my story. In 1981, I got my 2 kids for the weekend in Ohio, and I never brought them back. Now, before anyone shoots me, you need to understand why. The reason that happened was parental alienation, and it happened years before that term ever even existed. I was left with a choice to do what I believe was legally wrong and yet morally right. And first thing I want to tell you is I in no way condone what I did. I am not proud of what I did. I don't want anyone to ever have to steal their children. And following Brian and his story, you know, it's just a very sad story that Brian has. And I am in no way want to be associated with his father for what he did. My children were in an unsafe, unhealthy environment. I was falsely charged with sexual abuse of my children. The dysfunctional CPS system in Ohio at the time wouldn't even listen when we were calling them, telling them what was happening with my children in the 2 months I was not allowed to see them. They considered me a disgruntled father and didn't even want to listen to what was being told them by me and my friends. For 2 months, I never got to see my son and my daughter at all. They were endangered. They were left in an unsafe situation while their mother went out and explored the single-parent life and left my children at different houses 3, 4, 5 nights in a row. The neighbors would call me and come see me at my office and tell me the things that were happening with my children, and I in turn would call CPS, who would turn a blind ear because they felt I was disgruntled. So even though they listened to the false allegations of sexual abuse presented against me, they wouldn't listen to what was truly happening to my children after I had been removed from the picture completely. 2 months later, they had to prove those false allegations, and they couldn't. And they allowed me to have my children for the weekend. And so when I got them that weekend, I chose to take them, give them the loving, good life that they deserved, and get them out of an endangered and harmful situation. And again, I am not proud of what I did. My purpose is to make everyone aware of parental alienation, and that's where my situation started. And if we can attack parental alienation and bring the public to be aware of parental alienation, no one will have to be in the situation that I was in. I was missing for 2 years with my children and arrested by the FBI and charged with unlawful flight. And because of that, I feel the need to be outspoken about the number of children being kidnapped, and we've got to put a stop to it. So there's anywhere from 500 to 1,000 children a day. Every day, people, there's as many as 1,000 children being stolen today in the United States. We've got to put a stop to that, and I believe there's 3 ways to stop it. We need to bring the public to the awareness of parental alienation. We need to attack a dysfunctional court system, and we need to get someone in the Child Protective Services to understand that their system is dysfunctional as well. Even though their intentions may be good, their system is a failure. Now, there are agencies out there that don't believe parental alienation even exists. Justice for Children, there are groups out there like that that truly don't believe parental alienation exists. But when I was falsely charged with sexually abusing my kids, when I went 2 months without being able to see them, and I would drive by the house and pray that I'd get to see them in my yard, when I would call CPS and no one would listen, when I got my children that last weekend and we drove away from the house and my son said, "Thank you, Dad." And I said, "For what, Brian?" And he said, "Thank you for coming to see us. Mom had told us you didn't want to see us anymore." Those are all parental alienation. Those are the things that need to be attacked. And I believe this needs to start even back when people get married. When we all give those vows, "Till death do us part," can we add a little phrase that says, "We also agree to put our children first for the rest of our lives"? Can we please make that happen? Because if everyone would put the children first, none of these issues would be in front of us today. I'm being approached in various ways by people, because of my book, by people that have contemplated stealing their children. And I will work to the death to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. There are people out there that are in a situation where they just don't know who to turn to and they don't know where to go. They need help. That help has to come from our court systems, it has to come from the public, and it has to start with us, and that's why we're here today, because our making the public aware of parental alienation is where everything has to start. Everything focuses on the majority. If we can get the majority to understand the crisis that's in front of us today, the changes can start to happen. The good news is, 3 days ago I was in Hollywood, California, and we filmed the Dr. Phil show, and that show is about parental alienation and parental kidnapping. Two issues that must be addressed, they must be stopped, and they have to be stopped at any cost. Once this show airs, I promise you, the United States is going to know what parental alienation is. They're going to know Dr. Phil's stand on parental alienation. And those out there, including Justice for Children, that truly believe parental alienation and PAS do not exist, you folks need to watch this show, because I promise you it's going to open some eyes out there. And I also want to address the people out there right now deciding to steal their children. My situation happened in 1981. There was no internet, there was no websites to go to for help. There was no help of any kind. PAS didn't even exist. The people out there right now thinking about stealing your children, the first thing you must do is go to the internet, seek help. There are many, many places out there. Split in Two is a good place to go for help. Justice for Fathers is another place to go. Fathers for Justice, rather. What About Daddy? I founded a group in Houston called Fathers' Rights Meetup 212. I'm the founding member. We're helping people there daily. Please do not steal your children. You need to go to your pastor, go to your priest, seek help, find help. Get public awareness involved, but don't steal your children. And if you know of some situation where someone's being alienated, you must tell someone. It's a vicious crime. It has to be stopped. And at this moment, you've got to make a commitment to do whatever it's going to take to stop parental alienation, to spread the word about it, to stop parental kidnapping, and to be a part of a movement that's just going to get bigger day after day after day. And I want to say, Fathers for Justice, God bless you. We got to keep up the fight. Thank you for being here, and God bless everybody.